And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Tal'Darim Altar. I bring you the one and only Haypro. He is in the yellow trunks, and he's, of course, playing for Team Liquid. And he is to the northeast this particular map playing Zerg versus his opponent, one and only OGS SK NADA. He is in the purple trunks, and he is playing Terran to the northwest.
And even if NADA loses this game, which would be incredible, to go 0-2 in the groups, I mean, we saw Tilo somehow go 0-2 and somehow make it out of the game.
Yep,
out of the
he
group.
got through on a tiebreaker, so...
You know, it's still not the end of the world for NADA if this does happen. But obviously that would be very, very... a disappointing performance. I'm sure that he'd be the first to admit that if that happened here.
Yeah, I think this is the kind of time where NADA's experience comes into play and really kicks him into high gear, because he just lost a game against Elfie. Obviously, he didn't know anything about Elfie. He knows something about Haypro since he's played him before. He knew nothing about Elfie. He didn't know what to expect, and Elfie did play almost a perfect game. I think that the storms at the end were a little bit lax. He did miss quite a few, and I think he was just kind of throwing things away right there. But at that point, he'd won it anyway, so it really was irrelevant. And I would expect NADA to now go into full-on fantastic mode. And we'll see what happens from him.
He's opening up with double early barracks here. The second one's going down on 11. And this is NADA's style. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be super early like it is now, cutting a lot of SCVs, but he does it all the time. And we mentioned earlier, actually, I said, you know, I expect NADA to do this later on because this is how he plays every single game. And on this map, it depends on how greedy Haypro is going to be. And it looks like he's going to halt at 15. Oh, no, he's going to go to 16. Does he go to 17, though? If he goes to 17 supply...
That's really risky.
Okay, so he's at 16 now. There goes the drone. Okay, he's going to stop at 16. So it's not so bad, but at the same time, this is very, very early pressure from these barracks. I mean, these were at like a 10 and 11, so this is super fast. Yeah,
the question is, will NADA be able to find him? He's going to scout him first as well, so that's a really lucky break right there for NADA, who is moving in absolutely the right direction. And Haypro, of course, might realize exactly where his opponent is now, coming in from the angle of that SCV, if, of course, he sees it coming in to begin with. And there we go. He has hatchery information, and he's probably in a really solid spot right now to start up with some really nasty aggression.
Well, the Overlord's going to be like, hold on, there's no wall here. And then he's going to be like, hold on, there's no command center here. And did he just see the two SCVs? And I'm like, I think I did. And he's going to know what's up now, so he's going to have to pull drones, definitely. There goes the bunker, and it will be aided by a second SCV and 3 Marines right behind it. This is going to be hard. And that is not good.
Oh, no.
Because that was going to be hard, I tell you that.
That is really... If that machine has gone down, that is...
I know, I'm looking at... NADA's like, God damn it.
I can't blame him, honestly. I really, really
can't.
That
is such a lucky break for Haypro. I cannot stress that
enough. That is really unfortunate. I mean, obviously having to do the regame earlier was a bit bad, but that regame went the same way. If this happens in this game, that's horrible, absolutely horrible for NADA, who, let's be honest, was about to apply some really nasty pressure that Haypro would have been extremely hard pressed to deal with.
Dude, the chances of him winning that was so high, by the way. There's 3 Marines touching that bunker right now. They are literally touching it. There are no links in production whatsoever. Granted that the drones have been pulled, and there's counting the drones behind this screen. There's 5 drones have been pulled, but that's not enough. No. I actually really believe that NADA was going to win that there and then.
I'm almost certain
you can't call it because
I'm almost certain. No, it was a very,
very
very high probability, and NADA did not look happy about that one little bit. And can you blame him? Really?
No.
And this is really unfortunate because
everything happened well for him this game. He went for the early pressure.
He got the right scout.
He got the close positions. He got the right scout. Everything was perfectly fine. There was like nothing wrong with that. And then this happened. So I'm pretty sure he's going to be upset about that, especially losing against Elfie too. He's under pressure right now because it's not only pressure to perform in front of foreign fans, it's that he knows a lot of Koreans are at home watching this. And the entire tournament and the Korean pride is on NADA right now. And if you didn't know about Koreans, they love pride, and they're very, very prestigious about that. So to go down 0-2 and out of the tournament would really put a shame on NADA's head,
really would, and it's not the kind of thing that he wants at all. And this kind of disruption obviously is really not ideal, so it's very unfortunate. I mean, the computers have been stable all day with the exception of a couple of sound problems which were easily fixed.
Yeah.
To have not 1 but 2 crashes in an hour is very odd indeed. So we're hoping this gets sorted out really quickly. He's still in the game to see whether or not they can free it up and actually continue with it. But if not, it will have to be a regame, and that...
No, it definitely will. It definitely will.
He's going to have to fight really hard now, because I don't think he's going to pull that off again. Haypro's going to be much, much more wary of it.
Yeah, I mean, you actually can't call it, even though everybody knows, Haypro knows, NADA knows, like he was going to win, but you can't call it, so we're going to have to see that regame there.
Yeah.
And obviously that clapper was nothing to do with the regame there.
No, nobody's happy about that one. We need to say not happy about it, and the players aren't either, and of course neither is the crowd and any of you guys, but that, ladies and gentlemen, is that. So we are going to have to go into a regame, and we'll have to see if NADA can pull anything else out of his hat, honestly, because the chances of being set up in that regard are fairly slim at this point.
All right, well, on the fly admin control.
Okay.
They lost power for both of the PCs.
Wow, really?
Both of them over on that stand. So for people that aren't obviously at the event, there is a stage at the back of the room here with 2 PCs on an elevated area for the players to play on with their own PCs, known monitors for people to spectate on. And the power went on both the computers.
So in other words, the entire power supply in that area just died.
Yes.
So it had nothing to do with the computers
they're changing
whatsoever.
that. They're trying to sort it out, but you have to feel for NADA in that situation.
Oh, you have to. There's no real doubt about that. Nobody wants that to happen in the games. It's incredibly disruptive. It throws you off your flow. And that was particularly unpleasant, because you know for a fact that NADA had a really good shot of winning that right there and then. It would have been a nice early victory. It would have proven that his early opening and aggressive style is extremely effective, particularly against someone like Haypro, who really wants to force the long macro game. So that is really unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, what can you do, son? What can you do?
Yep. I think we're going to have to go through a very brief break. We'll try and keep it as brief as possible. Needless to say, we have no control over that, but we will keep you posted as to what's going on. Yep, they'll be checking the power, I assume, making sure all the surge protectors and everything are properly sorted out. And we'll be back very, very shortly, folks. You're watching Assembly 2011 with myself, TotalBiscuit.
And myself, Apollo.
And we'll be back as quickly as possible. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, and thank you once again for your patience. Just to remind you that we had to force a regame on that particular game because the power on PCs, both PCs in fact on the stage, went off simultaneously, which means it was a problem with the building's wiring, I believe.
Yeah.
So either that or a surge protector tripped one way or the other. It had nothing to do with the hardware, so there you go. And we're going to be going back into this game. It was an unfortunate start. Here's hoping that NADA can just pull it out and absolutely dazzle us with some fantastic play. But of course, this changes things around a bit because we don't know when NADA's going to spawn in relation to Haypro, and Haypro must be far more guarded against it this time.
It'd be so sick if he opened up like 13 pool, 15 hatch or something. It'd be so sick. But I really don't think that NADA's going to use the same build. I don't think so.
Well, he's in a good position for it if he does decide to. Perhaps he'll try and apply early pressure anyway. And Haypro, of course, doesn't have any idea where his opponent is, although I would expect maybe Haypro to scout a little bit earlier in that direction this time, just to make sure that it doesn't happen again. If NADA is able to execute that once again, then I think that proves his dominance in this particular matchup. But whatever the case, I bring you Haypro in the I was going to say...
he's
not scouting on 9s.
No.
I bring you Haypro, the guy who scouts on 9. He is in the northwest of this particular map. He is in the blue trunks, and of course he is playing Zerg for Team Liquid versus his opponent, the one and only OGSSK NADA. He is in the red trunks, and he is playing Terran to the northeast.
I was so sad for NADA. I said in the game, because I'm a NADA fan, I was like, I'm sorry, NADA. Good look, have fun. He's like, no problem, smiley face. So he's still up in spirits.
So chill guy. He has so much experience. No doubt this has happened to him before at some point in his career. Yes. And he is used to this. He is a competitor. He is professional. And of course, he is guaranteed to act like it. So let's see. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a barracks on 11. Let's see if he follows it up.
Followed up by an 11 barracks. So he's going to use the same build. And lucky for NADA here, we are going to have a very similar style here. And the question is, are we going to see again 16 spawning pool here? We're clearly going to see a 15 hatch as the drone is now pulled off, ready to go build that. So, wouldn't it be funny if we had the exact same scenario again? And wouldn't it even be funny if NADA lost in the exact same scenario? So, hopefully
that wouldn't be funny at all. That would be horrible.
The drone is on its way in the correct direction this way. So.
Yes, it's going to scout earlier this time. That said, that does not necessarily mean that Haypro will be able to deal with it. And that's something that you have to bear in mind. It doesn't matter if you know it's coming, if it's a really strong push to begin with. And NADA now moving out with the scout. And we're still, of course, sitting on 14 supply. He's actually going 14 pool this time around.
Yeah, so in this match, John, Haypro's turned up to a gunfight with a gun. Because
it's always handy.
He's scouted early now. He went 15 pool instead of 16.
Yeah.
So he's just in a lot better shape now. He's going to be able to defend it a lot easier. He's going to be able to pull SCVs off the right time because the drones were actually pulled off when the bunker had almost finished. So very, very slow. He's going to be able to do that in plenty of time now.
Although this is more like, if we're going to extend that analogy of a gunfight a little bit, it's more like turning up to a gunfight with a stick and then being told by the other guy, well, I suppose you can come back with a gun. And that is indeed what has really happened right here. It certainly wasn't NADA's choice, but, well, that's quite the pull of drones right there. That's actually 7 in total. The thing is, the great thing about that is that you can cancel out of it and you can actually replace them. And all of these guys are not mining. And we've seen a lot of plays very, very recently where it's really been a lot about fake bunkering and just forcing mass pulls off the line due to panic and paranoia. Now, this bunker is most likely going to go up. I don't know, though. I mean, there are Zerglings moving in, so he might be able to protect it. Repairing the SCV, very smart. He's got a good number of them as well. So this is a big pull off the line right here, but NADA's positioning is really good.
Oh, the bunker, he moves in just before the bunker completes here. He's got good micro, though. If he has excellent micro with all these Marines, he should be able to beat this.
NADA's micro is something of legend. Let's see if he can actually fight against these superior odds. Looking really good for NADA right now. I've got to say, a driving Haypro all the way back, and that bunker is complete. So this is going to get messy.
And now the spine crawler is in position. He does not want to let these Marines in the bunker, though.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to have a choice in the matter. Do you really think he's going to be able to stop him? I think not. NADA doing a merry little jig, and in he goes! And now, here comes the pressure. He's even got 2 SCVs left. He needs to defend those SCVs immediately, pulls it off at just the right time. Down goes the Queen, and now the spine crawler is in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, this is so hard for Hayda right now. I'm looking at it. 8 drones have gone down. A second bunker is being made. And looking at the unit tab, 7 drones versus 12 SCVs and Mule. And more SCVs are being made. And more Marines are coming in. The hatchery's under complete trouble. And as soon as that spine crawler moves, it's going to get targeted down immediately.
You want to know what happens when you put NADA under pressure, Apollo? He explodes, and that's exactly what's about to happen. Down goes the spine crawler. Absolutely nothing left for Haypro right here. This is going to be very fast. 6 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. NADA repeats the same build again, with his opponent knowing what's happening, and he still wins.